Hi, I'm Ethan, and this is going to be the last part of my 10-part Unity tutorial series. So, in the last video, I covered how to make a grappling hook system, which is probably the most technically advanced system that we've done so far. It involved being able to grab a reference to the currently selected node for us to grapple onto, and then it also involved let's see here, creating some line renders and joints for us to actually make the grappling hook function. So that must have been a bit of a ride, and I think it was definitely a helpful lesson in really being able to show what the sort of creative liberties that you can take with these sorts of little beginner projects. This project is not very technically advanced, but it is a very good starting point in terms of learning the basics of how to start making a game in Unity. So, we've covered how to make a boulder, we've covered how to make maps, we've covered physics objects, movement, explosions, and the last thing I now want to cover is I want to cover how to make an upgrade system. So, like any good game, there's gonna be some sort of way for the player to earn money and then spend that money on sweet upgrades so that they feel better about their progression and they feel like they've really been, just, having, developing their own skills in the game that you've made. So, to start with, we're gonna have to make our first ever canvas UI element. Now, I have been really avoiding UI for a really long time because UI is a whole sort of monster on its own. You can spend a lot of time screwing around with the UI. But in this case, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, partly for simplicity, for time, and for myself, for my own sanity. So, let's just get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to have a new upgrade script to hold all of the upgrade related values like costs and money and score. So let's just do that. I'm going to click on our border and I am going to add something. I'm going to add a new script. It's going to be a border upgrade script. So I'm just going to call it border upgrade. There we are. Now, just to clarify, this is a new level that I made between the last video and now. And this is just going to be a convenient place for us to be able to check, you know, how we're going to be making money. So every time we hit a box, I want us to make some money. And every time we hit a bomb, I want us to make even more money. So let's do that. So I've opened it up here. Now I'm gonna be sort of mostly freestyling this. I don't have much of a set plan, but that's fine. We don't need that much of a set plan. We just need to be able to do something. So to start with, we're gonna want to have an immediate reference to our boulder script. So let's see here. Private boulder boulder. And then boulder equals to boulder dot instance. Cool. So we already have a reference to our boulder. And dot instance is because we already have that code in here. Let's see here. Yeah, public static boulder instance. Instance equals to this. So anytime we need to grab a reference to our boulder, we just need to do boulder.instance because this is the only boulder script in the game. This is the only instance of our boulder script in the game. We're not going to have two boulders because our players only be controlling one boulder. Alright, so now that we have this, let's see here. What do we want? Well, first, we want a way to track our money. So let's do that. How are we going to make money? Well, every time we crash into a box, I want to make money. So let's see here. Now here's a really convenient way to do it. Let's give our box a tag. Let's give it a tag of box. I've created a new tag and I changed it so that all of our boxes will have the box tag. Great. Now let's see here. What do I want to do? I want to make it so that if our boulder hits an object with the tag of box, then I want it to give us some money. Now I need to make a money variable, so let's see. Private float money. There we go. That's simple. Alright, so on collision enter 2D, if collision.compare tag, collision.collider.compare tag, box, then we want to give us some money. So just give us some money. Let's say 20 for now. In fact, we should make some variables here. So we're going to be serialized some fields. This just means that it's going to be, what's the word? It's going to be available for us to edit in the inspector. So let's see here, private float box value. So money plus equals to box value. So this just makes it so anytime we hit a box, it's going to give us some money, and the amount of money that we get is determined by whatever we set in the inspector for box value. And while we're at it, let's make one for bomb as well. Bomb value. And then just check collider.compare tag. If it's a bomb, then money plus equals bomb value. Great, so let's debug.log this for now, just to check that it's working. So when we hit this box, then if we go into the console, then it should say something about, yeah, bomb not defined because we haven't made that tag yet. And then we hit it, and our money is now 0 for some reason. Oh, that's because we haven't actually changed the amount of money that we get. Alright, let's see here. Go into the inspector. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. We don't need those. Let's see here. Box value. Let's just make it 10. Let's make the bomb value 25. Again, we haven't actually made the bomb tag yet. That's why the console is giving us trouble. We hit this one box. Now it should be 10. So now we have $10. We're not doing anything with that $10 yet, but we will in the future. So now that we have this, let's see here. Well, we want to be able to display our money on the UI. So let's make a UI, and this is going to be the introduction to. Let me hold on. I'm getting sidetracked. I just need to throw these into this just to clean it up. Great. Now our hierarchy looks much better. Now I'm going to introduce you to the UI. So UI in Unity is called a canvas. You can have a lot of canvases. In case you want to have a lot of different places in the world where you just want to display a little bit of text, you would make a canvas and then you would put the text on that canvas. So a canvas is basically the place where the UI elements like text and images and buttons go. So so what I did was I right clicked, I went to UI and I just clicked text, and when I did that, it made a canvas object for us. Now for this text object, I'm just going to call it money value. So that's what our text is going to be called in the hierarchy, just for clarity. Now to edit the text, you want to go into the inspector and click on the text field over here, and let's just call this money, and then a colon, and then that's it for now. We're not actually going to be editing it from here. We're going to be editing the text value in our script. Now, if you zoom out, this is our canvas. It is huge compared to our map. And this is just a personal preference. I don't know if this is the best way to do this, but if you click on the canvas, you'll notice that it's on screen space overlay right now. I much prefer to set it to screen space camera. And I'm going to drag in my main camera here. So what this does is, whatever UI element is in the vicinity of the camera is basically what's going to be tracking along with the camera. So it's definitely better for me to just explain it. Let me make this white so that it's much easier to see. Let's scale it up or something, or font size, increase it. Let's put this in the corner. Now, you'll notice that we now have some text that says money. And if we move our border around, our camera is moving along in the map, but the text object, the money text, is following our camera. So that's what camera does. So that's terrific. Now, we want to be able to have a reference to our money text. So let's do that. Let's go into border upgrades. Let's serialize another field. I'm going to make a header. Now, a header in an inspector, it doesn't do anything functionally, but it's just for organizing your fields. Let's see here. Let's just call it text fields. And you'll see what this does very soon. Private text. Oh, we need to use something. Using Unity Engine.ui. So this is just something you have to do if you want to start messing around with text in the script. Private text money text. Cool. And then if I go in here, click on border, and then in here you'll see a new header, text fields, and in here is money text, and I'm just going to be dragging on money value text into here. So now, anytime we want to edit our this particular text, we just have to reference money text in our script, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So, if we hit a box, increase our money, and then in addition to that, I want to make it so that money text is money with a space plus money. And remember money, money dot toString. Now, wait, what? Sorry, money text equals to money plus money dot toString. Now, this may be a lot to take in. So what this does is, this grabs our money text, which is the thing that we just dragged into the inspector, and dot text is just to clarify that it's, the text, and it's going to be set to money with a colon and a space plus money dot toString. Now, the reason I have toString is because the money variable is not a string; it is a float. It is a number, and you have to explicitly make it so that you convert that number into a string of characters that can actually be used in text. So Control S to save, and then let's do the exact same on this side. It goes to money plus money dot toString. Perfect. So now if we go back into the game, nothing's going to appear, but then if we hit that, and then if we hit that, and if we hit that, look at that. Every time we hit a box, our money goes up by 10. So it's already working. Our money system is already working in the UI. We could make it much fancier, but that's going to take much more time. So finally, let's start making so that we can actually use up our money. So let's see here. I want to make a button. I'm going to go into our canvas. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to UI. Let's go to button. And now we have a button. Let's put this in this corner. And I'm going to go to here. Now, the button's actually two parts. It's the button itself, and then there's the text. So you have to click here to edit the text. Let's call this shop. Just to make it really clear what this button does, let's change the color to yellow or something. Or orange. Orange looks fine. So there we go. So now, the way you can make a button work is that you have to give it an on-click event. Now, this is very straightforward. on click do stuff, and the stuff is what you're going to be setting. So it's on click do something to this object and call this function somehow. So I'm probably over complicating it, but that's literally what this does. So let's see here. We want to make it so that when we click on the shop, we're going to make the shop button disappear first off. So I'm going to rename this just to organize it, shop button. So reference itself, so I'm just going to drag our shop button into itself and then make it so that it is going to be inactive. So set active bool. So if this is unchecked, that means when we click the shop button is inactive, which means it's going to disappear. And then the second thing I want to do is I want to actually make the shop UI. So let's see here, let's add a panel. Now a panel is basically just like this. It's just this. It's literally a panel to put stuff on. It's like a transparent, semi-transparent image. So there's our panel. Let's make it a little bit darker. Cool. I'm going to call this shop panel for organization. If your hierarchy is very unorganized, then you're going to have a lot of trouble. So let's see here. I want to add another button. This button is going to be, the upgrade button. So let's call this, upgrade, increase speed. So this is going to be a button that increases our speed, just like that. Let's see here, make this a little bit bigger. Next thing we want to do, we want to clarify what the price of it is. I'm going to make another text object. Increase speed price. And then let's say it's $50. You cannot see anything because it is, there we go. And just like that. Perfect. Now we have an increase speed button. And just to check that this works, if I click shop, the shop disappears, but for some reason our shop panel is not being shown. Let's do this. So make sure that the shop panel does not appear when you first start the game, and that it only appears when you click the shop button. So to do that, I'm going to make another on-click event by pressing this plus button. I'm going to drag our shop panel into it and make it so that it is set active. So what I did here, click here, go to game object, set active bool, and then make sure that's checked, which means it's going to be enabled. So now if I click this, boom, and we now have the shop that opens up. Just drinking some water. Alright, so we also want a way to exit the shop. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to temporarily re-enable it. Let's see here. This is going to be increase speed button. And then I want to make a new button, which is going to be the exit button. So exit button. Put this at the bottom. Why is I don't like that. That is very unfortunate. Let's see. Make sure the canvas is above everything else. Order and layer means that our canvas is going to be above everything else, so that it is rendered first. And then let's make this a bit redder. And then let's change the text. Exit shop. And let's give it an on-click event. Make sure you're clicking the button and not the text for the on-click event. And then let's see here, make it so that shop panel is inactive. So set active bool. Yeah, just leave that unchecked. Make sure everything works. Nope, sorry, I need to disable this first, and let's make sure everything works. Shop. You can click this, nothing happens. Exit shop, there we go. Let's see, just another little polish. Make sure money is set to 0 first, just visually. And now we actually need to make the speed button actually function. So let's make sure that works. We want it to have a reference to our boulder, because our boulder is where our boulder upgrade script is located. And we haven't made any functions to upgrade yet, so let's do that. Public void, because we want to be able to reference this from our buttons and stuff. Let's see here. Public void increase speed. Now, what we want to do is we want, if we ever call this method by clicking our button, then we want to increase the speed of our boulder. And to do that, I'm just going to do boulder dot, let's see here, what is our move multiplier? There we go. So the move multiplier variable is private, but we want to call it regardless of that. So let's just make a method to call it. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. So let's see here. Public void increase speed mult float speed. And then let's see, move multiplier plus equals speed. So this is going to allow us to change the move multiplier even though it's a private variable, and we're going to do this by calling a public method. So this is a good way to keep your variables private but still change them from other classes. Now we have public void increase speed. We want to pass in something, so let's see, increase speed. Oh, sorry, public void increase speed boulder dot increase speed mode. And what do we want to increase it by? Let's serialize that. Private float increase speed value, and then serialize field private float increase jump value. Increase speed value. Do that. Now we also want to make some prices, so serialize field private float increase speed price, and then serialize another field. Let's see, private float increase jump price. Actually, no, just call, yeah, no, sorry, never mind. Okay, and then let's see, money minus equals increase speed price. And then let's make another one, which is going to increase our jump. So increase jump. And we need to make another method over here, public void increase jump mult float jump, and then jump multiplier plus equals jump. Okay, so let's see here. We also now want to boulder dot increase jump mult, increase jump value, and then money minus equals increase jump value, jump price. Alright, so that was a lot that I just did. Basically, when you press the button, it's going to go into this script. It's going to call either of these methods depending on which button you pressed, and these methods are going to access private variables from our boulder script, and it's going to pass in a value to increase either the speed or the jump, and then it's going to subtract from our money. And then let's just copy this just to update it. Okay, awesome. Now, we instead of doing this every time we want to change it, we could also just do this in the update method, so that our money value is constantly being updated by whatever the value of our money is. But that could be a bit excessive. That's why I'm putting it here instead. So let's see here. Now we need to actually give our shop some functionality. So let's see here, increase speed button. Sorry, first I want to go into our border upgrade script and set some value. Increase speed value, let's just say 1. Jump value 1. Actually, no, 0.5. Increase speed price is going to be 50. Increase jump price is going to be 100. Great. Now, I want to make a new button. I'm just going to Control D, move this down. Let's see, increase jump button. Over here, increase jump. Go to, yeah, here. This is going to be the increase jump price. And then this is going to be, it's $100. Perfect. Now we need to actually make it so that when we click these buttons, they actually do something. Go to here, go to border upgrade, and then increase speed. And then go to a jump button, and then go to border upgrade, and then where is it? Increase jump. Thank goodness. So now that we have all of this, let's make sure that the shop is disabled. Now we have $0 at the beginning. So if we click our shop and then we click increase speed a bunch of times, wait, hold on, something happened. Border.increase speed mode, this is not set to a reference. I'm fairly certain that it should be. Avoid void, let's see all of this. Border.increase speed mode, blah blah blah, all of that. Very strange. Let's see here. Text sub money and then equals money, all of that stuff. Let's see here. When we click the button, then something should happen. Okay, let's see here. Maybe this can help fix it. Instead of declaring it like this, border equals to GameObject dot find. Yeah, so it should be like GameObject dot find GameObject with tag border dot get component border. Okay, let's see if that resolves it. And then click this a bunch of times, and then our money is going into the negatives. Okay, that's not great. That's not great. There we go. If money is higher than 0, then do all of this. So, check if we have money. So as long as we have enough money, then hopefully it should be able to do it. If money is higher than increase jump price, actually. So if we have enough money to buy it, then buy it. If not, then obviously don't do anything. So that's what this if statement does. Let's go back. We're almost at half an hour. This is our longest video by far, which is why I may sound a bit tired by this point. Okay, click shop. Try to increase our speed, we can't. Try to increase our jump, we can't. That's because we are broke. Exit shop, and now we can continue playing as usual. By the way, if you're wondering how I made the camera size for this video much larger than usual, all I did was I changed the orthographic size. It's a property in the main camera. Sorry, no, the Oh, and we are dead. And we have no shop button. That's because our shop button, we forgot to enable our shop button when we click the exit button. So let's do that really quickly. Exit button plus make sure our shop button is active. So let's try this again. I'm going to increase the value of destroying boxes for testing purposes. And I'm also going to massively increase the speed value and the jump value, also for testing purposes and also just for fun. We don't need it to be balanced right now, we just need it to work. Now we have, what is it? And we have $120. Oh, let's not fall off. Click the shop, increase speed again, exit shop. Now we should be extremely fast. Oh yeah, no, we are very fast. We are remarkable. Now that's fun. Let's increase our jump. Make the jump and jump. That is great. So now at this point, if I wanted to, I could change the amount of money that we get per box, per bomb. I can change the amount that our upgrades are going to increase our speed, our jump by, and I can change the price at will. So this is a very simple, very basic upgrade system, but it works. We now have some money, so the player now has progression per level. So unfortunately, this is where I'm going to be ending this series. Uh, you know, I think it's been a very interesting journey to see what I could make up on the spot, because much of this has genuinely been made up on the spot. And I think it's been really interesting to challenge myself and see the sorts of products that I can make when, I'm in front of a microphone and I need to just say what I need to say up on the spot. I'm not very good at presentations usually, but I think with this, I'm a lot more comfortable in this sort of environment where I just get to sit at my desk and I get to talk about something that I'm actually genuinely really passionate about, really interested in, which is this sort of beginner Unity development. So, thank you for anyone who's been watching, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.